Hey everyone, welcome back to the most interactive wrestling show on the interweb. Welcome back to Wrestling with Omer. I am your host, Omer Q. We have so much to get into today. It is December 22nd, 2024. Probably one of the final shows of the year. And it's going to be a big one because we're going to be talking about everything you need to know about AEW Worlds End. We're going to be getting into the rumored valuation of AEW being at $2 billion and talking about some pretty major AEW returns, as well as the hell is going on with WWE on Netflix ahead of their big premiere on January 6th, 2025. It is going to be a riot, and so is this show. We got a bunch of people in the chat. Ryan Davis, shout out to Ryan and his Panthers. Sounding off in the chat. What's up, Ryan? Hopefully you're doing well. Wall Street Money, good. Hello to you, my good friend. And Kyle James, what's going on? I'm doing great this morning because I get to spend it with you. The holidays are upon us, and so is the wonderfully wacky world of professional wrestling. As you guys know, it's a fan interactive show, a fan-engaged show, a fan-run show in many ways. So you guys want to get your questions in, we'll answer them throughout. Nearly nothing is off limits, but yep, do that. Be sure to hit a like or hit that like button. I just woke up, so I'm a little right now. But be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell as always, and put your questions in the chat. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. And if you guys want to guarantee your question or statement is read out on the air, be sure to leave a super chat. All right. So, as I said, there's a lot to get into. But let's start off with the news that everyone is talking about, the news that everyone wants to know. You know, is Shane McMahon going to be at AEW Worlds End this coming weekend? Of course, AEW Worlds End emanates from Orlando, Florida. It is going to be an interesting show. They have that fatal four-way to end the night. But the question on everyone's mind is, will it be the debut of Shane? Will the Death Riders bring in Shane McMahon? As of right now, it does not seem like that will be the case. And there's multiple reasons for that. The biggest one being, I don't think they've done enough to necessarily tease this, because when we were when we were looking at like the Dynamite 5-year anniversary, for example, they were outright teasing that there was something bigger at play. And in the weeks leading up to that, they were teasing that there were bigger things at play. Moxley was cutting promos where he was talking about, cryptically, this is not your company anymore. There was so much innuendo there that it would make one think that Shane would be coming in. However, a couple of months later now, we're kind of reached a point where they haven't been teasing that. There hasn't been that fervor. There hasn't been that innuendo. There hasn't been any of that. Instead, we've kind of shifted the tone of this to being, at one point, something I thought which was really good, which was Moxley and the Death Riders are trying to bring out the best in AEW, and if they can't, they're going to destroy it, right? Which I think is fine. I think it's good. Past couple of weeks, though, it has not been good. And part of what I think is missing is the motivation of Mox. We haven't had that promo where it's like he's explaining his motivations. And because of that, I think the storyline has been lacking because of it. And I also think that when you're facing a situation where you have like these big personalities like a John Moxley, who's, right now he's looking great. When he wrestles in ring, it feels different. But there needs to be a motivation. And I don't think the cryptic stuff has worked out in the way that AEW probably wanted it to at this point. I think it's been dragged out. You can only be cryptic for so long before you have to reveal something. There has to be some development. And I think that's what this story has lacked. We are still in the phase, Orange Cassidy, involved in this story, trying to save AEW. Darby Allin was supposed to be a guy who came in, and then, Darby just He crashed his car into the Death Rider's truck, and now he's in the C2, which is fine. He's cooking. He's cooking in the C2, and I like far be it from me to say that Darby Allin is not doing the Lord's work. But I also think that there needs to be a bit more continuity, a bit more development. It's something that I have railed on every wrestling company about, including AEW, WWE, TNA. When you don't have character development in your main event stories, it is going to make people care significantly less. So, we have that situation. You take that plus the fact that, there's just not the hype around this return, and combine that with the fact that it's reported, according to FightfulSelect.com, that Kenny Omega will be returning to AEW sometime around the new year, whether it be at tonight's AEW Dynamite Christmas taping in New York, or potentially at AEW Worlds End, which is their next show. And if you have that return, and then on the first episode of Dynamite on Max, which is a week from Wednesday on January 1st, you're going to have Adam Copeland probably returning, because that's going to be in the town where he lives, in Asheville, North Carolina. That's going to be for a cause that he has given a lot to, and he's going to be about damn near ready, again, according to FightfulSelect.com, to do that. You got Byron asking me a very good question. Can you cover New Japan Pro Wrestling on the channel? Can I? I think I can now with the newer format I've been doing. Usually I incorporate a lot of pictures in my coverage. And, I can't do that because TVSIE/New Japan Pro Wrestling would tank my channel. And because they tried to do that once before, and it's not a fun time. So it's why one of the main reasons why you see people not covering New Japan on YouTube as much as you probably want to is because they are very, very, very strict when it comes to even showing pictures of their events. It's literally like it's unbelievable. But I'm probably gonna start more New Japan coverage because I don't even show that many, or I'm like trying to do this thing where I don't show as many pictures as I used to. So TBD, but probably soon. Breaking news. The news just half broke in. Therefore, it's breaking. Also, Leo Relic is now keeping it real. Shout out to Leo. What's going on, man? How you doing? You got Yodan in the chat. If you want to even get John Moxley, I don't even know where this is going. But we're going to go with it. If you want to even get wet John Moxley and the Death Riders, she's in front of them, Renee Hangman. Okay, well, that's crazy. I can't believe I actually tried to read that. Create a story. Better be a lock for WWE 2K25. I definitely think they need to add more features so you get people like me to play the game. I mean, the big question is, will Shane make a change, as Montaigne asks. I think Shane will provide a shot in the arm. And that is definitely something that they need going into that premiere on Max. He is a major name. He is a familiar face. He's a McMahon. Like, do not discount the idea of a McMahon showing up in a rival wrestling company as just, like, oh, okay, like, it's not the same as if, I don't know, like, damn, like, Bandito returning. Shout out to Bandito. I love Bandito, and I love his return at Final Battle. But, it's not the same as Bandito returning. It's not the same as when Ricochet debuted, right? This is, it's big. It is big. Wall Street Money says, the Death Riders put out a flare in the middle of nowhere, LOL. Yeah, I was kind of confused. I've been confused about that little promo package that they've been putting up. Because like that's been their main source of hyping up this pay-per-view. It's been like, all right, it's Moxley and the Death Riders driving through the desert, and the show is in Orlando. There is no desert in Orlando, and then there's a flare. Is he like signaling for help? Is there backup? None of that stuff has been even like remotely hinted towards on TV. And you don't need to be like, you don't need to be Michael Cole. WWE is promising a big change this coming Wednesday. Like, you don't need to do all that, but like, I don't know. Maybe it's just that there hasn't been enough development, and that doesn't have people excited about this. But when you don't have the excitement going into the show, I think it takes away. They have a chance at Christmas Dynamite to maybe build something towards it, but we'll see. I think at this point, you're in a space with AEW where you kind of gotta, you need to, like, make sure that you just need to make sure that people are hyped about your product. And part of that is understanding when to be a little bit more tongue-in-cheek and when to just outright say the thing. And I'm not saying you have to outright say the thing, but you pretty much damn near have to outright say the thing to get people excited. You're averaging 600,000 viewers for your top wrestling show right now when you were averaging 800,000 last year. TV ratings cable cord cutting does not account for that significant of a loss. That means people are less inclined to watch your product. There's got to be a reason for that. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I think part of the reason is that AEW kind of wants to be everything for everybody, and it's part of what made it so great for a while. But I don't think that the way they're doing it right now is necessarily conducive to success. I think that what they should be focusing on is telling stories in the ring. Like, that is the base of your audience. That is what they are there for. That is what they spend money on. Develop characters, tell stories in the ring, keep people engaged. Have your big moments here and there. That's good, but that's what it's all about. This confusing stuff they do sometimes, I don't get it. Like, past couple of months of AEW TV, I've enjoyed some of it, but a lot of it has been kind of confusing. Why is this match happening? Like, you can only, like here's the thing. There's certain instances where you can be like, all right, we're just going to send them out there and they're going to cook. There's certain instances where you can do that, but it does become overkill sometimes. And I'm not one of these cornet heads who's like, God, the AEW needs to do more headlocks and more storytelling, goddamn. Like, no. Ain't nobody saying that. Nobody's out here being like Eric Bischoff, like, Tony Khan's a money mark. And when I ran WCW into the ground, mind you, ain't nobody talking about that. This is an objective criticism of AEW. We should be able to talk about it. Shout out to Albert Ponce in the chat. Shout out to you, my friend. Hopefully you're doing well. Guys, if you're just joining us, be sure to smash that thumbs up. Become a member so you can get access to custom emotes and exclusive content in the Real Take Vault. WWE been doing for years. Established Raw. AEW is not doing that with Dynamite. Dynamite was established for a little bit there. And I think it's still like their most established brand as far as a show. Like, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. But the problem is the past couple of years, like, I don't really know what that means. Like what does it mean now? I know what this means, though. Honey tea is cooking. Honey tea is cooking. Leo. The crowd made the story for Ricochet and Ospreay at the moment they threw the toilet paper at Rico. That was the funniest spot. I don't know whether I want it to be either planted. I mean, if it was planted, it was a good idea. But if it wasn't, that is hilarious. The people, because usually, like in the Hammerstein Ballroom for ROH shows, they would bring the ROH streamers, and like they did it for Final Battle on Friday, and they would throw it into the ring. These people brought toilet paper and threw it at Ricochet when he entered. That was hilarious. And then he took the toilet paper, he wiped his butt, and like he tried to smother Ospreay. That was good. That was good stuff. Come to WrestleMania 41. I'll be cheering for every heel. I would go to Mania 41 if the tickets weren't expensive and like two of my friends weren't getting like married that same weekend, back-to-back nights, which is gonna be great for me. But no, I will be at a couple of shows next year, but not as many as I've been to this year. This was my I think I have like I have a notes app where I have like every show I've been to. Hold up, let me see if I can pull it up. Cause like, yeah, it's been a lot. Here we go. So in 2024, I have been to AEW Big Business, AEW Dynasty, WrestleMania, WWE SmackDown MSG, AEW Forbidden Door, AEW Blood and Guts, AEW All In. Oh, I forgot about Blood and Guts. AEW All Out, WWE Bad Blood, AEW Wrestle Dream. That's 10. Full Gear. And then I'm going to, well, no, I'm not going to World's End. So that's it. So 11 wrestling shows. That's basically one per month. So, yeah, I've been doing a lot of shows. The funny part is, though, guys, I still spent way more money on WWE shows than I have AEW shows. It's crazy, isn't it? Those Mania tickets are wild. I'm objectively balanced and on the ball, says. That's how they. Well, I think I may have missed one of your chats earlier, but I don't know if there's context. It's like, at least it's not repetitive 50-50 rematches burying the majority of the roster. That's how they treat the majority that were in WWE, unless it's Bryan, Joe, etc. Partially because of how over Ospreay is. I mean, they've been doing 50-50 booking with Ospreay recently, but I understand that. It's because of the Continental Classic. It's because, they know Ospreay's at a point where he can take a couple of losses and help people out. It was hilarious. Ospreay was dead laughing outside, and he played full heel, which I love. Yep. Ricochet, the character work on Ricochet last night at Collision was not to be ignored. I think that's probably the best of Ricochet we've seen in AEW. Especially after whatever the hell that segment was on Dynamite. I don't even know what to say. Oh, man. Leo in the chat says, people say AEW make Ricochet look like a bitch, but maybe that's the type of heel he will be, 2015 Seth Rollins-esque, and not the Hurt Syndicate type. I mean, sure, but he's going to have to do something. He's going to have to win something. See, the issue is Seth Rollins was like a little bit, but he was winning. And he was not just winning he was winning Money in the Bank. He was winning the world title. It's very, I think in that way, it's very different. I mean, how they treat ex-WWE talent look like Ricochet. I don't think that's all wholeheartedly true. I mean, if we want to talk about it, like Mercedes is an ex-WWE talent. She's been booked great. Ricochet is going to do the Sami Zayn. He's going to prove his worth to the Hurt Syndicate. That would be hilarious. They do like a mini bloodline thing. Speaking of ticket prices, we tried to get the Fight for the Fallen tickets first day, and the prices were way more than Dynamite or even Revolution tickets were this year. Why? I haven't checked Fight for the Fallen tickets, but I assume. I mean, I know they're trying to raise a good amount of money for that, so they might be a little bit hesitant. Because I think that money, the money that AEW gets from that show, is going to end up going to to the hurricane relief for that area that was affected. But let me see. Actually, I'll quickly just look this up, because Fight for the Fallen is an important show that they're going to need people at. But I think they've only sold 1,500 tickets or something, according to WrestleTix. I'll have to look. Let me see. Got the Harris Cherokee Center, which is where the show is. They only have a couple of sections opened up. Well, I mean, that's the other thing. They only have a couple of sections opened up. They've tarped off the entire hard cam side for now. I mean, Ryan, if you do need to help, if you need some help saving money on tickets, I do have a bit of a deal for you, because you can do that when you sign up for SeatGeek and use the promo code RealTake. $20 off your first purchase using the promo code RealTake. All you got to do, use the link in the description, Ryan. Sign up, make another account and sign up. And then save yourself $20. Maybe that'll help. And then get your buddy to buy the ticket next to you. And also sign up with SeatGeek and save $20. Look, save that $20, Ryan. Save that $20. I want you to save money, my friend. But I mean, the reason I would say the reason is probably just because of the amount of seats that are available. It's a smaller arena, and they just don't have that many seats available right now. Give it some time. Let's see what they do after Christmas. Great idea. Here we go. AEW needs to book their heels better. Tell him when he's telling lies. I have enjoyed a lot of the stuff that Mox has done, but past couple of weeks he has not been cooking like he used to. I've enjoyed Mercedes matches, but there is a disconnect there. Outside of like that Britt Baker promo that they cut in Chicago a couple of months ago, there's a bit of a disconnect. I think the Hurt Business is good, is really good. That's probably like their best heel act going right now. But yeah, I tend to agree. Ricochet hasn't been in AEW. That hasn't been that long in AEW, and when the opportunity arrives as a cowardless heel, he will win championships. 2015, Seth Rollins also had J&J Security to help him out. J&J Security is a good shout. That's a really good shout. Everyone trashing on Ricochet, but he's leading the C2 at the moment. Yep, he's leading it. How many eras are there in AEW? We're definitely in a new era. We're definitely in at least the second one. Or actually, no, the third one, I would say. I would say there's... If we're looking at AEW eras, I would say there's the Genesis era. I don't even know what to call it. Okay, look. Let's really think about this, I guess, because this is a good question. Right now we're in the weird era, is what I'll say, which stretches from now until like going back to like, what was it? Probably, for me, it was like September. The second Adam Cole like shattered his ankle, a lot changed. And that's when you saw kind of like, my mic is going out. Is it? Is my mic going out, guys? The second someone flags a mic issue, the show comes to a complete stop. Let's see. Do I even have the right mic? I do have the right mic plugged in. All right, let me know if it continues. Okay. Anyway, probably the boom. I need to work on it. Okay. Cool. Anyway, but yeah, I would say the weird era is what I'm gonna call it. The weird era from basically the end of this year, going back to September of 2023. Then you have I'll just say the golden era of AEW, which stretches from the second they came back to arenas in 2021 all the way until like All In 2023. Which also coincides with CM Punk's entry and exit into the company. Then we also have my TV's. It's been good this whole time. My guy's TV must be about to blow a speaker. That's crazy. Am I that loud? I'm loud. Turn me down. Don't turn me off. And then you have like I think the Genesis era of AEW, like the early like days, which is like, or actually no, you could put the original All In all the way through like the right before the pandemic, Revolution 2020 into its own era, and then the pandemic era. So they have a couple eras, probably a third era they have going right now. Third, fourth era, maybe. And then the Max era is going to be different. Tony's said that it's going to be different. He said it's going to be a wild time. It's going to be interesting. Also, shout out to my boy Trevor in the chat. We got our show coming up, our holiday special, OT Graps holiday special right here on the channel. It's going to be fun. It says every other word is cut off. Well, that's not good. Now I gotta do the old checkaroo. Is every other word actually cutting off, chat? Well, that's interesting. Okay, well, again, guys, let me know if it continues to do that, and then we'll have to see what happens. WBD Max era for AEW. Yep, that's going to start in January. WWE is in the delusional bow era to the game. I mean, literally, I'm telling you, it is going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those like things where the second that show on Netflix starts, right, on Monday Night Raw on Netflix starts, it's going to be emotional because Triple H is going to be what opens the show. Let me tell you something right now. Triple H, like we are in like the Triple H bow down to the king era. That much is true because Hunter is going to open that show and he is going to just be like the king and he's like, are you ready? Are you ready? And then that's how we're going to open up the Netflix era because it is about the global brand that is the World Wrestling Entertainment. Anyway. AEW was at its best the first 2 years after that main roster got a lot stronger, but the product watered down, which makes it less of an alternative. The majority say 2021 because Bryan and Punk joined. Yep, 2021 was their best year, like from a product standpoint. Business is different, right? Business, right? Like next year is going to be their best year in business because they're going to be paid a boatload of money to do what they do. Trevor, I think your speaker is about to blow, bro. Either that or you're trolling. I don't think Trevor's trolling. It might be your speaker or something. Because I just did a test and I sounded fine. I haven't read the lawsuit. Yeah, that was a crazy quote. That and like I don't see color was a... Triple H is on a year of wild quotes. Anyway, though, speaking of Trevor, guys, tomorrow at some point, Trevor and I still have to figure out the schedule. Trevor, let me know if 2 p.m. works, actually. I might as well just talk to you through this chat. Let me know if 2 p.m. works for you. We could do that show a little bit early and do that. Or we could just do it at night. But regardless, tomorrow at some point, we're going to have the OT Graps holiday special. It is going to be very, very interesting. All right, it's my favorite show of the year because... I don't know. It usually just ends up with me and Trevor like singing or doing something silly. So check it out. It's gonna be a riot. It's gonna be a riot. Yeah, it's gonna be ridiculous. That much is true. All right. Going through the chat. But yeah. Also, I think Ryan had asked me earlier about my general thoughts on the C2. And what I'll say is I think the C2 is... I don't think it's as hyped as it was last year. I definitely don't think it's as hyped as it was last year. But I do think that the C2 like has really helped bring meaning to a lot of these really cool matches we're seeing. And like they've cooked. Like Darby Allin and Will Ospreay had one of the best TV matches of the year. Like no question, right? And I think the fact that there was meaning behind that, the fact that there was a reason for them to have that match makes it even better. And that does not mean that the C2 has been perfect. I don't think you should have C2 matches on Rampage. Look, Rampage is not a brand that is going to be around for a while now. So I don't understand why you would put stuff like... I mean, I understand, I guess you want to make your partners happy, maybe like go out with a bang or whatever. But like, I from a standpoint of like the product, you want to invest in Dynamite. You want to invest in Collision. Invest in those shows. Invest in those flagships. That's what's getting you paid. That's what's getting you money. That is what's best for business, in my opinion. Again, and Tony has better insight to this than I will ever have because he, at the end of the day, he's running the companies. He's seeing the numbers. He's communicating with Warner Brothers Discovery. So. I just don't think Shane fits the Death Rider storyline. He did at one point. I think there's like that weird like judo thing though, like with him and I don't know, like I think he could fit it. He could fit it. He could definitely fit it if that's what AEW wants. They had C2 matches on Rampage for timing issues. Well, then start the C2 at Full Gear. Start it at Full Gear. Merry Christmas, Omer. If I spelled that name right. No, you did. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Kwanzaa. Whatever y'all celebrate. Happy that shit. Because that's what we're here to do. Is spread holiday cheer. Holiday cheer. But no, Merry Christmas, John. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're going to be cooking up. I don't even know what you're probably cooking up something crazy for Christmas. Probably going to be like cooking a damn like what are they like? So like a turkey. I'm trying to think back. Like all I can picture is like a Christmas dinner is like the Grinch. He's cutting like the roast beast. John probably gonna be cooking a whole roast beast for Christmas. Shout out to you, John. Hopefully you're doing well, my guy. Agreed. Let's hope last night's collision is a sign of things to come. Last night's collision did cook. They had important promos with that MJF Adam Cole promo, although I know people did not think that cooked. Again, I think this is the most hyped I've been for that feud since probably All In, or I guess I should say Worlds End last year. So, we'll see. That's why I love the C2. What's for sure is that nothing's for sure. Sting joins the C2. That'd be crazy. That would be wild. Almost as wild as 21 of you guys being in the chat and only 7 of you liking. Be sure to hit that like button, guys. Let's get that up to at least 10 likes. I know some of you are watching this. Y'all got to hit that like button. Come on. Do me a favor. While we're doing this, we got a bit of an update on Netflix. Netflix has provided more information about WWE on its platform ahead of the move over the next few weeks. Netflix will begin to roll out select archival content on the service in January. This is for international audiences. Episodes will be available to watch immediately after live streaming if watching live is supported on your device. Programming can be downloaded roughly 48 hours after it streams for offline viewing. All live events on Netflix are included in all plans, including select WWE programming, depending on your region. So that means you are going to be able to. Cool. Yeah, that means you are going to be able to watch. Excuse me. You are going to be able to watch Raw immediately after the fact. Excuse me. That's a good thing. Also, Sports Illustrated announced its Pro Wrestling Awards. Let me actually see if I can get this, because this is... I know some of y'all are going to be mad about this. Because... Oh, boy. There's some takes here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Because, usually I don't get too bogged down in these awards, and I think it's fun to like talk about, but sometimes people be getting way too serious about them. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So let's take a look at the Sports Illustrated Pro Wrestling Awards for 2024. You have Male Wrestler of the Year, The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Female Wrestler of the Year, Toni Storm. Breakout Star of the Year, Taika Fatu, I love you. Match of the Year, The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson versus Will Bloody Ospreay. Show of the Year, WrestleMania 40. Story of the Year, The Bloodline Saga. All right. Rivalry of the Year, Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. Fair. Heel Turn of the Year, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston turn on Big E. Best on the mic, Drew McIntyre. Tag Team of the Year for Axiom. I can't argue with Axiom, I don't think. But I do have some arguments to be made. Let's start with what I agree with, or what I will accept. Women's Wrestler of the Year, Toni Storm. Absolutely. Her, Rhea Ripley, you could put them 1 or 2. I don't care. But I would say Toni Storm. I think it's been the year of Toni. Timeless Toni. Shout out to her. So I have no problem with that. I also have no problem with Jacob Fatu being breakout star. I would have to think about this one a little bit more to see who mine was, but that I totally agree with. I will not take umbrage with Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay because that match slapped. It was absolutely amazing. I do have a different best match of the year. That video is coming out on Christmas Day, so shout out to that and stay tuned for that. You'll get to see my top 10 matches of the year, both WWE and AEW. We got Leo in the chat saying Toni Storm has done so much for her character, nothing against Rhea, but you have no chance here. Yeah, I mean, it's been the Toni Storm year, in my opinion. And then we're just gonna go down to like, what else would I would accept rivalry of the year being Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. Definitely WWE's best rivalry of the year, no question. Like that it killed it. It made bad blood as a pay-per-view. Heel turn of the year. I am, look, again, don't necessarily agree with this for me, but I will accept Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston being like, everyone else came back from a broken neck, Biggie. What's your excuse? Which is an insane thing to say to your friend. So shout out to them. I will accept that. I'll also accept Drew McIntyre as one of the best on the mic and Fraxium as tag team of the year. What I won't accept are some of these other ones, particularly male wrestler of the year, show of the year, story of the year. Let's talk about these. First of all, men's wrestler of the year. I love Cody Rhodes. I will always have a very special place in my heart for the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He helped ignite a professional wrestling revolution. There would be no AEW without him. There would be no AEW without the entire Bullet Club. All of that stuff. He worked his ass off to get back to WWE. He had one of the best moments in WrestleMania history. But ever since then, it has not been good. The storytelling has not been good. The promos have been virtually missable. It's just he hasn't been cooking. He hasn't been cooking like that. Like in the ring, he's cooking. I'll say that, but everything else is just not. It's not great. What I will say, I think inarguably this has been the year of Swerve Strickland. You could put Ospreay up there. You could potentially put CM Punk or Drew I'd say Drew McIntyre up there too. But I think, or even like Gunther. I think you could put Gunther up there. But for men's wrestler of the year, my pick would be Swerve Strickland. I don't think there's been a better total package. Like when he and as far as like you look at him before his title reign, after his title reign, he's a made guy now. Like he's never gonna get to a point where he's like not over now. That's how much this past year has meant. And when he was the champion, it was undeniable that he was AEW's best. So I would put Swerve in that slot. If we're gonna talk about show of the year, yeah. If we're gonna talk about show of the year, though, man, we can't stop this. Mania had some good, decent matches. 2 really excellent matches, and then 1 spectacle that's unforgettable, right, in the main event of night 2. But Jesus Christ. Show of the year? I don't know about all that, fam. I don't know about all that, because I don't even think that's the best WWE show of the year. Because with Mania, you have both night 1, night 2. Night 1 dragging it down significantly. But come on, man. Come on, man. Let's not even talk about this. Like you have AEW All In, Wembley Stadium, delivered insane matches, insane moments. You have SummerSlam, same deal, insane matches, insane moments. Roman's return, and we're here talking about Mania 40. That's got to be for the clicks. That's the only thing. Like Sports Illustrated is doing it for the clicks, or to stay like balanced or whatever. I don't know what it is, but it's not like Forbidden Door. Revolution. Thank you, Ryan Davis. Thank you, Ryan Davis in the chat. Revolution. Way better show than Mania. Sting's last match. Takeshita Ospreay. Like, what are we doing? All Out was great too. All Out was great. I don't know if it's. I don't even think like there's just so many other shows that are better. There are WWE shows that are better than Mania, man. Just talking about that. There are WWE shows that are better than Mania. Show of the year. This is just. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Man, y'all are going crazy in the chat right now. I see a bunch of you in the chat. Brian or Ospreay. Yeah, you could very put those. Story of the year was the Brian saga. Yeah, I would not argue with that. I would say for me, story of the year is probably the Hangman Page Swerve Strickland stuff. I thought that's peak professional wrestling. That was peak professional wrestling. I would, honestly, Revolution might be my show of the year. Like, it is definitely like the best thing that Tony Khan has ever booked. And it would probably go down as like the greatest booking moment for Tony Khan. It's going to go down obviously as like an unforgettable moment in the history of professional wrestling. Like that was a night that was fitting of the Icon Sting, and he deserved all of it. All Out was way better. Yeah, I mean, they need to fire The Miz. He's overrated. I don't like that guy. Shout out to The Miz, man. What do you do? I mean, no, they're not cooking with that Miz Karrion Kross stuff right now. They're not cooking with that. But yeah, I mean, story of the year. I'm totally fine for rivalry. Story of the year was the. I mean, you could put that in rivalry of the year, but like even story of the year is like the whole Hangman Page stuff. Or Bryan Danielson's Rise. That was way better than what the Bloodline is given this year. Like, it is just, I don't know. Again, it is what it is, man. They're going to do what they're going to do. And I would just say, Bryan versus Ospreay is definitely in my top 10 matches of the year, but it is not my top. It is not my top match of the year. That honor goes to another match. As I said, Takeshita is the GOAT, man. He's going to kill Shingo Takagi at Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah, Wrestle Kingdom one night, Wrestle Dynasty the other. That's going to be crazy, man. I'm going to be up at like 3 o'clock in the morning both nights watching both shows. It's going to be fun. How can we watch Wrestle Dynasty? How to watch Wrestle Dynasty. Have they said it's going to be on pay-per-view? Or is it going to be on New Japan World? Okay, it is on New Japan World. Okay, that's good. Wait, am I have to hold up? Oh no. No, I'm gonna have to pay for it. No, I thought I was gonna. Well, whatever, man. We're gonna find it. Are you gonna do top 10 pay-per-view of the year? Yeah, probably. I'm recording all of those like today, so yeah. I want Hangman to win at World's End so we can get him versus Swerve for the world title. I don't think that's happening. Mox retains. Kenny returns. That's my prediction. But that would cook. Seth versus Punk is going to be crazy. Yeah, if they allow it to go the full length and they allow it to be amazing and exactly like what people want and not have a funny finish, then yeah, I think it has the potential to be an all-time Raw moment for sure. For sure. Ryan, how are your Panthers doing, man? You guys were on a little bit of a hot streak, playing really good there for a bit, and then you got dogged by the Cowboys. So that's been cooking Punk, though. Yeah. I mean, you know what, man? I'm still waiting. Like Punk has had like decent promos since he's been back in WWE. He had a good one with Rollins, but man, I'm still like waiting for that CM Punk promo. I feel maybe it's me. Maybe it'll just never happen in the way that it would that I thought it would. But man, it just felt like Punk was coming out. Even back in like 2011, he was coming out every week, just a banger promos. And like now it's just like, I don't know. It's just, am I the only one who thinks that? I'm not like genuinely, like I'm not even trying to like stoke flames or whatever the fuck. Like I genuinely, like, this is a genuine fucking question. Like, do we think CM Punk is cooking on the mic as we're used to seeing him? Not just in AEW, because in AEW, like, I can name off the top of my head like 5-6 like insane promos or promo battles, whatever he's had. In WWE, I don't think we've seen that. We've seen some cool moments, like him costing Drew at Clash was really cool. Him costing Drew at Mania was really cool, but I don't think we've seen like the promos be there. And like that's the thing about Punk. Like that's what we all like loved about him when he was at his height. Excuse me, was his ability to cut impeccable all-time level promos on a weekly basis. Darby is taking AEW to the top of the world, man. Maybe. We suck. This is about the Panthers. We got the Cardinals today, so it's guaranteed we give up a 30 burger on defense. Our defense is trash. Punk is better on the mic, I think. Better, like, in general than he was? Now, or he's better than Rollins? Because I just don't think so. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it is, man. Like, because it's just like, he had that one, like, a couple of weeks ago, him and Rollins had a really good promo battle. A really, really good promo battle right after Survivor Series. And I thought, like, that was, like, the closest we've gotten to, like, oh, this is a CM Punk promo. Other than that, it's just been, like, lowest common denominator type stuff. What did you think about the MJF promo on Dynamite? It was a really, really good way to sell that pay-per-view. QR code right here. Worlds End, December 28th, live on pay-per-view. That was a good promo. I mean, I did like the Adam Cole MJF stuff on Collision too. Hammerstein Ballroom also made that way better than it had any right being. I get this weird feeling that his heart is still with AEW, but he says he hates AEW like an ex that goes, I never loved you anyways. He probably has regrets. I understand that way of thinking. I just am not of the opinion that Punk is a guy who has regrets. I think, if anything, he is, over the past year, has been like more reinforced with his hatred for all things AEW. He's still taking shots at Hangman Page. He's still he's still doing that stuff. And again, it is what it is, right? Like, it's obvious. It is obvious if you go and listen to what Punk had to say. Go in that, especially in that Ariel Helwani interview. If you go back and look at the reporting at the time, in real time in 2022, there was a point, and it probably was that Hangman Page promo, where Punk soured on just the entire situation. And as we've seen in the past, when Punk sours on something, it is really hard for that thing to regain respect, whether it was Vince in WWE or Colt Cabana or whatever. When he doesn't like you, he does not like you. And period, right? So I think from that perspective, it was kind of doomed at that point, right? I think Punk had made up his mind. And again, this is wrestling media speculation, right? But from what we've seen, I think at some point he had just made up his mind, like, fuck this. That's why when, like, after the tricep injury happened, after Brawlout happened, he was so quick to be like, yeah, Tony, just fire me. Tony, just fire me. He said this multiple times, right? Tony, just fire me. Just let me go. Just let me go. Pay me my money. Let me go. And Tony obviously didn't do that. That probably caused a little bit more resentment. He ended up coming back because of Collision and, get the chance to, like, have some influence, work these shows, do some cool stuff. And then Brawl In happens, and at that point it was untenable. It is what it is. I think, there's going to be, like, again, the whole, like, who's to blame stuff is passe, in my opinion, at this point. Like, we can talk about it. But I don't think he's, to Wall Street Money's point, I don't really care if he takes shots at AEW. Bro needs to get over this hangman. I don't think he's going to get over it. Like, maybe in, like, 30 years. Because I just think, like, even like looking past the promo, right? Like there's totally an argument to be made that I agree with, that Hangman Page was wrong for going off script or whatever, right? Even though CM Punk has made an entire career of doing that, whatever. Fair point. Hangman was wrong. However, Hangman after that point publicly never went after Punk. Never. And Punk has gone after Hangman multiple times, taking shit that he has said out of context. Like, there's this infamous quote, and like this is the thing that like, and this is not a shit on CM Punk thing. This is mostly a, like it's mostly a, here's an example of like how Punk views this stuff. There's an infamous quote in that All Out interview or that All Out press conference that Punk had where he crashed out, where he said that, he was talking about Hangman. He was like, you're telling me you would never take advice from legends, from Dean Malenko, Jerry Lynn, all these guys? F you, right? Fuck you. And like, he just goes off on that. And that was in response to something that Hangman was asked. He was asked like a question. I think he was at like a wrestling school or something. He was doing an interview there. And he was asked a question about like, taking advice. And he said, I'll be the first to tell you, like, I'm not the best at taking advice, and that's a fault. And he was calling out his own like mistake in that way. Like, but he also said that, but the other way I look at it is I've gotten here because of being who I am. I've gotten here because of the path that I've taken, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And that is Hangman showing and saying that, like, look, like, should I be taking more advice? Absolutely. And it is what it is. But part of like why I kind of beat to my own drum is because I've gotten to this point. I was the number one guy at one point in the hottest wrestling company in the world at one point. In 2021, when Hangman Page was world champion, WWE was nowhere near close as being hot as AEW was. That's just the truth. Objective truth. From a popularity, from a what's it called? From a hype standpoint, from the standpoint of being a hot brand, it wasn't even close. But then, like, obviously, Punk saw the worst in that. You saw like the Hangman action figures aren't being sold or whatever promo that he cut in Collision. You had the what was it, a couple of weeks ago when he was doing the Saturday Night's main event? Was Saturday Night's main event he was doing? And he was like, oh yeah, moveset, after Hangman Page had literally just talked about movesets. It is crazy, man. It is what it is. Punk never did anything for wrestling when he was on hiatus. Then he screwed AEW. I'm not gonna say he didn't do anything for wrestling. I think Punk will always love professional wrestling, but when he's bitter about something, it shows. He said that he couldn't hear Hangman during the promo, which made no sense. They go off script in AEW all the time. I mean, that's what Punk says. So, Drew didn't want the Punk in WWE. I don't think Seth really hated Punk. Seth Rollins did hate Punk. Let me be clear. He might not hate him now, and he might be doing business. There was definitely 100% a point in time where both Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns resented the hell out of CM Punk. Roman did not like Punk. It's possible that he still doesn't like Punk, but for everything we know, not big fans of the guy before he returned. Roman was, again, rumor and innuendo, whatever, was even like a little bit like, on his return. So, the problem I have with Punk is him physically attacking coworkers. I disagree and dislike my coworkers, but if I assaulted them, I'd be incarcerated. Yeah, I will say I think it's a little bit different in pro wrestling because it's like the vibe is different. It's like in football, people get in fights all the time. Not everyone gets fired for it. But if you're like starting fights a lot, and then it is what it is. Roman's a chill guy. Shout out to that meme. My dog. The big dog, Roman Reigns. The big dog. Could you imagine Roman being like, I'm the big dog. When you're a big dog, but you're a chill guy. That's amazing. He's chill. I mean, he did business with him. Like that's the thing. Roman did business with him. Seth's doing business with him. If it comes to it, Kevin Owens, who also is not like Sami Zayn. Not a big fan of Punk. I'll let you make your own conclusions why, but did business with him. Kevin Owens, again, been taking shots at Punk about that whole moveset thing, but will still probably end up doing business with him, even though he does not get along with the guy and they're not friends and they don't like each other. Regardless, like that's what it's about at the end of the day. And I think one thing you can fault definitely the Young Bucks for is like, you know, I mean, and again, I see their point in that, like, you know, like that soured it soured them in a way on professional wrestling that I still don't think is like we're still feeling the ramifications of. They did not know if they wanted to come back, is what they said. Like they said that after that whole thing went down, it was like so toxic and everything about it was so toxic that they didn't know if they wanted to come back to wrestling. They obviously did, and they just haven't been the same though since they have. So I don't know, weird stuff. Would you like to see John Cena go out like Kenny Omega, the belt collector style during his retirement? Let me tell you what I want to see. I want to see John Cena versus Cody. I want to see John Cena win the Royal Rumble. I want to see John Cena versus Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania Night 2. And at the end, I want John Cena, when the referee is distracted, to give Cody Rhodes the biggest low blow in WWE history. Hit him with not the attitude adjustment, but the FU 1, 2, 3. Big match John is now big heel John. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me a year of heel John Cena would not cook. Have him win the U.S. belt. Have him win the world title. Have him win all the titles. Have him be the belt collector of WWE, but have him do it as a heel. John Keegan says, I love the Eagle belt coming back. Yeah. I love it too. I think Kevin Owens doing a good job by being like, I'm the real world champion. It's that old Ric Flair real world champion gimmick. Excuse me. What did he do for wrestling for nearly a decade after leaving WWE? Because, excuse me, he was complaining about being booked in a match with The Undertaker. I mean, here's the thing. In that respect, I saw Punk's point in that, like, he probably deserved to be in the main event of Mania that year. It just wasn't the biggest match. Like, everyone wanted... At the end of the day, they decided they were going to do Rock versus Cena twice. And you can't compete with that. You just can't compete with that. But I think that... I understand, but I also think, man, like, there's levels to it. I hope John starts rhyming in his promos again. Dude got some bars. I don't know if he's got bars these days, bro. I don't know if John Cena's got bars these days. My guy is just like... My guy's not like... He's not 30 anymore. He's not 20 anymore. He's damn near 50. Like, isn't John Cena like 47? Like 46, something like that? John Felix Anthony Cena is 47 years old. Turns 48 in April. Rock versus Cena did over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Yeah, it did. Once in a lifetime. Part 2. It is what it is. Man. I want AEW to put all the belts on Mercedes, even the tag belts. There's a chance that happens. She's going to face Mina Shirakawa for the Stardom belt on Wrestle Kingdom. Or sorry, Wrestle Dynasty. Too many wrestles. The way he called out Mox was uncalled for, and he was just only one from the Shield who didn't have a problem with him. Then you just shit on his ideas because you don't know pop culture. I mean, the whole Rocky, like, I never saw Rocky. What the hell? I will always say this. I think that's the most overlooked feud and the most overlooked match in AEW history, and it will always be that because that match was awesome. That feud and the energy around it was awesome. But no one will ever remember it. It is lost to the annals of time because of that press conference. That press conference, like literally, like no one will ever talk about Jon Moxley versus CM Punk for the AEW World Championship at All Out 2022. You will never be able to talk about that pay-per-view because the conversation immediately goes to, but that press conference though. But yeah, I mean, like, look, if he hasn't seen Rocky, he hasn't seen Rocky. I mean, there's plenty of like big pop culture movies I haven't seen, but I still understand like the I don't know. I feel like the whole Rocky thing is like, it's not that hard to understand the concept behind it. And you don't have to agree with it, but are Mox, Seth, and Roman still close? I think so, yeah. For sure. At least from everything that's been put out there. Mercedes is the most underrated / overhated wrestler in today. Yeah, probably. She gets a lot of hate because, number one, I think there are a lot of people who resent the fact that she went to AEW and didn't come back to WWE, even though WWE did not offer her as much money. And yeah, at the end of the day, you want to talk about it's not all about the money. It is all about the money. Why do you think so many people are staying in WWE? They're getting paid insane amounts of money. You're a professional wrestler. Keyword professional. You are there to do your job. You are there for your career. And part of the way you advance in your career is by getting paid. You throw yourself at the ground for a living. I don't understand like why people get mad at people for taking money. Get your bag. Take your money. If one company isn't offering you as much as the other one, and you're fine with what they would have you doing booking wise, and it's like essentially the same, take the money. People gonna be mad. People just gonna find something to complain about. Any chance of ROH separating from AEW and touring smaller venues on their own? Any word from of an ROH TV streaming deal? Tony Khan did not comment when he was asked in the post-show press conference at Final Battle about this. But what he did say was, TBD, basically. So we'll see. They are negotiating an ROH deal. That much is out there. As far as, like, whether it will be a touring brand or not, I think Final Battle proved that when you have an ROH show with real ROH fans that has a separate ROH roster, they can cook. You cannot have ROH recorded every week in the same arena as Dynamite or Collision because at the end of the day, those people are not here to see Ring of Honor. Those people are not here to see ROH talent. And you're like cycling in Collision talent into ROH, Dynamite talent into ROH, and vice versa. That's not how this works. You can do that on a limited basis for sure, but you can't do it constantly. Have ROH be an indie. Have it be your feeder system. Have it be whatever you want it to be, but have it be ROH. When ROH has an identity, that is when it is at its most interesting. It has not been at its most interesting this year. This has probably been, from a product standpoint, outside of Athena, one of the worst years of ROH. Genuinely. Final Battle is amazing, though. I want to be clear. Amazing. But, man. Mox won't be coming back to WWE, but you never know. Oh, I love how John Keegan's been on this for a while. He's been on this. John Moxley, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. Man's been watching. Don't say it. But no, John Keegan's been saying this for a while. Moxley won't be coming back to WWE, but you never know. We never thought Punk would return. Look, there's always a chance. I will never say there's not a chance. It's professional wrestling. At the end of the day, never say never. But it would take a lot to get Moxley back. Especially with how I think it's obvious he's very, very, very comfortable in AEW. We need a real take yearly awards. You're kind of getting that. On Christmas, I'm going to release the the best matches of the year because I'm going to be on a bit of a vacation for starting Tuesday. So I'm going to be out for a couple of days, but I'm going to backload some like yearly awards content. So like show of the year, wrestlers of the year, all that stuff is going to be coming your way. I'm tired, guys. John also said MJF is going to go to WWE. That's definitely more possible than Moxley, I think. I still see a universe where MJF ends up in WWE at some point. And it's good because I also think Cody's going to end up back in AEW at some point. Not like within like the next couple of years, but I do think before he retires, he will go back to AEW. Brownie in the chat says, since when has it been known for AEW to do the right or smart thing or something good? They will bring in, do whatever they want when they want. Does not have to make sense or be the best. I mean, the entire year of 2021 was pretty fucking good. The entire year of 2020 was pretty fucking good and smart. The entire year of 2019 was pretty fucking good and smart. Just look to this year. Revolution, probably the best show of any wrestling company this year. You go to the lead up into All In, probably the most logical and like smart booking they could have done into that show. So, KTR Yearly Awards, Kenny, AEW, Brian, WWE, Omer, Brian Danielson. You know what? You ain't wrong. I will never admit to being a partisan on anything except for Brian Danielson. You're damn right, Wall Street Money. You're damn right. They can keep your AEWs. I don't give a shit. Keep your WWE. The American Dragon, Brian Danielson, is the only thing that matters in the history of professional wrestling. Damn right. WWE would never push MJF or Starks. AEW don't need Cody. Not right now, but I don't. I think he'll end up going back. As far as MJF and Ricky Starks, I think Ricky will get a massive push when he goes to NXT, and he should. He deserves it. MJF, they would be dumb not to push him. They would be really dumb not to push him. Kiss the Ring is family. Damn right. Kiss. Not going to say it. That's Kenny's line. That's Kenny's line. By the time Cody goes back, he'll be washed up. I don't think so. I think he'll be fine. It'll be Cody Rhodes. It'll be Cody Rhodes coming back to do the thing that he needs to do the thing he wants to do the thing that he never did, win the AEW World title. He always should have. Mox loves the freedom. Damn right he does. Guys, we got about 5 minutes left. Football is about to be on. Get your last few chats in here. Be sure to hit that like button. All that jazz. Should Carmelo Hayes be pushed more? Absolutely. He's being buried in WWE right now. That Braun Strowman shit is not cooking. It's not cooking. It's quite frankly disappointing to see what's happened with Carmelo Hayes. Especially when you look at like his tag team partner Trick Williams, who's like cooking in NXT, and it might just be an NXT main roster thing. NXT is like really, they are hot right now. It's really good. What's going on with AJ Styles? Is he still with the company? His contract is up in 2025. Like early-ish 2025. Q1 2025 from what's been reported. So, yeah. Merry Christmas, my brother. Great stream today. Thank you. But we're also going to be right back at it tomorrow with our holiday special. YouTube.com/Real Take Wrestling. Go over to YouTube.com/OT Graps and subscribe to that channel as well. Oh man. It's gonna be a fun stream tomorrow. I swear to God, if Cody comes back and opens with the Cody First portal again, I honestly just do it for the meme. Why not? Why the hell not, guys? I'll actually hit you guys with my final predictions for AEW Worlds End. Just because from the matches we got. Later, Omer, I'm going to flip over to the Panthers and drown in a bottle of misery and vodka. Well, here, let me give you my quick picks before I go for the Continental Classic. Oh, wait, the Continental Classic final. Okay, Okada wins the Continental Classic. Moxley retains his belt. Adam Cole, baby, defeats MJF, becoming the first Dynamite Diamond Ring winner who is not named Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Mariah May retains against Thunder Rosa. Konosuke Takeshita retains against Powerhouse. And Mercedes Moné retains against Chris Statlander. All right, now you got that. Stardust coming soon, inshallah. WWE has never pushed the best wrestler. Your favorite talkers, MJF, Starks, are too small for WWE, and Cody isn't a good enough wrestler for AEW. He's average, boring. I don't know about all that. I think Cody's a good wrestler. But we'll see. I mean, when they get to the main roster, it is a crapshoot. It's just if you somehow mess up a guy like MJF, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't have him positioned in a certain way, I don't know. It's like gooning for Bryan Danielson is crazy. No, it's not. Bro, your name is Wall Street Money. Gooning for Wall Street is crazy. Come on now. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You want to talk? Let's talk about it. Nah, shout out to you, Wall Street Money. But we accept zero negative Bryan Danielson slander here. We accept none of that. This is a Bryan Danielson channel. This is a Bryan Danielson wrestling universe over here that I'm building. All right? If you don't like it, you can get out. Anyway, guys, speaking of getting out, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I appreciate every single one of you, though. Wall Street Money, I'm objectively balanced and on the ball. Well, John Keegan, Ryan Davis, everyone who showed up, showed out. Jermaine, of course, Trevor. Shout out to all of you, my friends. Guys, as we head out, be sure to hit that like button. Become a member. Help the channel grow. Exclusive perks, all that stuff. You can read about it. Just go to the membership tab on the channel. Appreciate all of you guys. Leo Relic. God, there's so many of you. And I appreciate every single one of y'all. Until next time, guys. It's been emotional. It's been an experience. Be sure to be happy. Be healthy. Happy holidays. Keegan eats foods and drinks a lot of beer. And shout out to you, John Keegan. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Kwanzaa. Everything. Enjoy this week. Enjoy time with your loved ones, your friends, your family, or with yourself. Do what you got to do. Take care of yourself. And as always, keep it real.